Hey everybody, welcome back to another ArcGIS tutorial with me, Skip. Today we're going to get a little bit deeper into the model builder than we did in the last video. And we're going to talk about iterators. We're going to talk about specifically row iterators. If I have to run the same batch of geoprocessing on the same feature layer but for different values or different rows inside of the attributes, how do I do that? So I'm going to show you how to do that. So to build off our last example where we were working for Franklin County and we just needed buffers for all of the little 3-mile buffers around all of the fire departments in that county, and we built a model for it. Let's say we did such a great job that we got promoted and now we work for the whole state of Massachusetts, and they said, hey, we want 3-mile buffers around all of the fire departments in the state, but we want it broken down by county. We certainly don't want to go through and have to select a different layer that's got just the county and run it through the clip and buffer tool multiple times. We'd rather just have one model that can do that smartly. And we know we can do it smartly because in our map here, we have the shapefiles for all of the counties, right? They're all broken down in a row inside of this county's shapefile. So let's talk about iterators, right? We're going to iterate through, we're going to do this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, all the way down in one tool. So to do that, we're going to get started. We're going to go to the Analysis tab. We're going to click on Model Builder. And we're going to bring up our model right here. Okay, I'm going to show you the way that is the most common way to do it. That throws out a big error for you. And then we're going to show out how to fix it. So when we think about how we need to do this in the first place, we know from before we need the clip tool because we need to clip the points by the counties. And we know we need the buffer tool because we need to draw those 3-mile rings. So we'll bring those in. We know that's what we're going to do. Okay. We also we know we need to iterate through the rows. So we come up here to the top and there's this thing that says iterators. Go ahead and drop that down and you'll see iterate row selection. And that's what we want because we're going to go row by row through the shapefile. So we click on that and it brings it down here. And so now we have it. So here now we have our big pieces. We have our iterator, we have our clip, and we have our buffer. So the way that everybody wants to do this is they say, okay, let's just bring this in like we would anything else. So we bring in our shapefile that has our counties, and we're going to link that here into iterate row selection. And we're going to say that's an input table. So now we're going to double click on iterate row selection because we need to tell it what row are we iterating through, like what field are we going to iterate by. Well, we're going to iterate through the counties. So we'll click on county. And we'll skip null values. We don't have any, but if we do, we don't want anything to choke up the model. So we'll say skip null values and we'll click OK. And now you'll see that this is all done here. So now we know that we're going to take that output and we're going to run that. Well, let's bring in our data first. We're going to bring in all of our fire station points. We're going to put that up here. We're going to connect that down to clip, and those are our input features. And this selected this green here, right, this is our selection based on that row selection. This is going to be our selected row, which is going to be our selected county. So we'll drag that down in here, and those are now our clip features. This gives us, everything here is getting colored, so that means we're good. So now we have this output feature data set. We connect that into the buffer. And those are our input features just like before. We're going to open up buffer, and we're going to say we want it to be a 3-mile buffer. And now everything is good. And we want to make sure that we're adding these to the display. We want them to show right away. So we right click on our output and we say add to display. So this seems pretty normal. This is what everybody sort of wants to do. They think this is the right way to do it because we bring in our stuff, we iterate, we get our selection of our row, we're clipping our features based off of it, and then passing that into the buffer, and it's going to output right onto our screen. Let's see what happens when we validate and then run this. We're not getting any errors, but only one seemed to show up, and that doesn't seem quite right, does it? We should have one for each county. So let's talk about what happened here. See, we run it again. It's doing multiple over and over and over and over and over again, but it keeps adding and then it disappears, and then it adds another and it disappears. Well, why is that happening? Let's run it again. And this time I want you to watch really closely the names of all of these layers. See how this one ends in mima_buffer? Watch what happens when I run it again. We see it flash up, mima_buffer, mima_buffer, mima_buffer for each layer. So what's happening here is that as it adds it to the display, it's got a name. And then when it iterates through and runs again, it's got the same name. And so it throws up an error. But we can fix this pretty easily. You'll see down here we have this value, this light blue box that says value. And what that is that's a value that comes out, and when you run this for the first row, which would be Essex, this value is set to Essex. When it iterates through again to the second one, that's Berkshire. So this value would be set to Berkshire. So what we can do is we can call this light blue value over here in our output. So if we double click our output, we see the name right here. It's going to output as this. When we see the meme_buffer, you know how we know that's what we're looking for. But if I come in here and I say %, and then I type in value, the same way it's written down there in the light blue, and another %, and click OK, we're doing something called dynamic naming. Let's verify this again, and let's go ahead and get this out of here. We don't want this. Let's go ahead and clear out any of the junk that's left over in our geodatabase from that, because we don't want that. Let's get rid of all that junk. Let's just run this tool now with this dynamic naming in it. Validate, and we run. And now we see 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers. We see that it's now populating a new layer for each of these. And once it's done, I'll expand the table of contents so you can see and you can look at what's happened. So we'll just give this a couple more seconds here. Great. So if we expand this out now, we can see that the name of each of the counties has been appended to the end, and that's using something called dynamic naming. So we'll do more lessons on dynamic naming and different things that you can do with that in another tutorial. But basically what we did is by putting that variable, that value, in between 2 %, we say, hey, take the value of whatever and just drop that in as text right here. So that's what we did, and that stopped the system from overwriting the layer each time it does it. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. I know when I was getting into iterators, I struggled with this one a lot, trying to understand how to get dynamic naming to work and why my layers wouldn't show up. But if you follow along with this tutorial, you'll have no problem with it in the future. If you found this video useful, please leave a like. If you have any questions, comments, drop those down below. And if you found this at all useful, please, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. Have a good one.